Hi, welcome to Friday Sews, and before we start I have some footage that has been sent to me from Kent regarding the barbecue cover. Enjoy. Hello, this is Carole, this is Friday Sews. Friday Sews is when we all get together on a Friday and we sit down and we have a chat and tell you what we've been up to. All this was created by Jen from Today in Jen's Sewing Room. I'm sure you all know that bit by now, but every week I just want to thank her and spread the word even further. This has been a funny old week for sewing for me. It's been bits and bobs of this and that, nothing that I really set out to do. Well, I did achieve what I said I was going to do last week, but I just had little things thrown at me left, right, and centre. What should we start with? Should we start with the stuff I promised to make? Yes, probably will. So, first of all, if you remember last week, I admitted that I have an indie pattern, the Grainline Studio Scout Tee. And although this actually is for wovens, I've made it several times in a jersey, a very stable jersey. The one I used this time was, I think, a linen jersey. It was beautiful to sew. It's lightweight, but it behaved so well. That's quite a nice shape, so I always keep this one. But oh, it's between me and you, this. Nobody else needs to know this, but I let myself down. I made this t-shirt and I was really lazy. I did the ultimate thing and I looked at my serger and it was white. And I was so lazy. Even though I have an air threader, I didn't change it. And it's been a huge lesson for me because now every time I wear this, I'm going to feel really guilty because look, this is between me and you. Look at the inside. Doesn't that look really, really awful? I had navy as well. I had navy. So, yeah, I mean, obviously, no one is going to know when I'm wearing it, but I let myself down. Halfway through, I thought, shall I change it? I thought, no, that's ridiculous. I can't have some white, some navy. So I just had to barge on through. So, although I'm really, really pleased with this, it feels beautiful. You just got to not look at the white overlooking thread. Naughty. Now, the second thing I was going to make I had this idea of like a crochet shawl cardigan thing to wear on my holiday, just in the evening if I was a bit chilly, rather than putting a heavy cardigan on. And also I wanted something lightweight, so it's not another bulky thing to pack. In the end, I used New Look 6378. Oh my gosh, it is easy. It's 3 pattern pieces really, and it takes not very long to make at all. So if you ever, I mean, it's not particularly shapely. The sleeves are really, really wide. I mean, you could make that smaller. So it's not an elegant sort of coverall, but it suited the job. I made it up. I wasn't 100% sure, as ever. When am I ever 100% sure? And I went down to show my husband, and he said, "Oh, that looks nice. That'll be nice for evening." And I thought, "Yay, win!" That's exactly what I wanted. No comments. And in fact, I was FaceTiming my daughter and she said, "Oh, that does look pretty." And I said, "Excellent. That's all I wanted." Now, I was worried initially about dealing with this sort of crochet fabric, but actually it was easy peasy. I was going to even think about French seams inside, but as you can see, I just serged. I kept the white on the serger and I just serged and it looks absolutely fine. I did a line of stitching first, as I always do, just straight stitching, and then I overlock over the top. I just that kind of method works for me. Then a lot of people suggested putting a binding around the outside, sort of around the neck and all down the front. Some other people suggested a rolled hem on the serger, and I went with that option first rather than the binding. I was worried that the baby it would look, sorry, I was worried that it would look like a baby blanket. You know, when you've got the crochet baby blankets and you have that line of ribbing around the outside, and that's what I didn't want it to look like. So that's the finished edge, just with a rolled hem on the serger, and I think it looks all right. That was the sleeve. You know, it did finish it. I've got no gaps and it hasn't sort of gathered it up. And it's just, you've just got a thin line. So I am pleased with it. As I say, if you see how wide the sleeves are, it's a very basic shape, but it will do the job and just look a bit more delicate than a big thick cardi. I wanted to alter the 2 t-shirts that I had that I don't often wear and make them sleeveless. So I just had a couple. What I learned from this is it's probably quicker just to start again and make a sleeveless t-shirt. I had these 2 t-shirts that I made, which I think was a New Look 6246, I think. So I chopped the sleeve off. I didn't unpick it. It had a line of serging and straight stitching. So I chopped it off, and then I was stuck. I managed to just cut enough off that sleeve with this fabric to make a binding. If you can see, that's actually the hem of the sleeve there. So I took the widest part of the sleeve and put it as a binding. The only thing being is the stripes are a little weird now. I wouldn't have chosen to do that if I was doing it. Obviously, it looks okay. So I'm happy with that. Problem came with number 2. Took the sleeves off again. Now this, because it was a cotton jersey and not as stretchy as this, I didn't have the width in the sleeve. So that didn't work. So I had to chop a whole load off the bottom. So I completely chopped off about an inch off the hem and then used that as the binding, cheating a bit. That actually looked really good in the end. So, and I just put the line of stitch in there. So that actually works out really well. So I now have 2 sleeveless t-shirts, which I'm really pleased with. But lesson for the future, probably if I've got the fabric, just start again, because it did take much longer than I anticipated. But on the good side, I used up something that I might have donated and given away. Now it was on to little odd bits. My daughter's been chasing me for a peg bag forever, and I kept thinking, oh, I haven't got the waterproof fabric and I'm not quite sure. In the end, I looked at a few tutorials, and one of them was Sewing with Abeygale, and it was a Swedish peg bag. I really like the conical shape of it, and it looked quite modern, so I gave that a go. I'll put a picture in because I've given it to her. It's already in use. There are a lot of patterns out there on Etsy and things like that to actually buy. But with Sewing with Abeygale, she actually showed you how to just draw it out and measure it, which saved a bit. And because it just seems so simple, I didn't want to pay for a pattern. So I did draw it out, and you basically have this and this. So it was with lots of layers and using fusible fleece just to make it stand up a bit, and it was quite successful. I would definitely have another go for myself, but they're quite useful little just sort of grab bags for anything really. So I got that done. My grandson is the older one, is heavily into colouring at the moment. And he came round to my house the other day just clutching some pencils because he wanted to do some colouring. I got him some dinosaur pencils a couple of months ago. And I said, haven't you got a pencil case? And he said, no. Nanny to the rescue. So I made him a pencil case, and I had some dinosaur fat squares. So that was perfect. He chose what was going to be on the outside and he chose on the inside. and I have about 1,000 zips, so that was perfect. So I made him a little pencil case, and he took it home and he was really pleased. And what did grandson number 2, the little one, do? Went straight for it and just wanted to play with it and wanted one. So my daughter said, you know what you're going to have to do? You're going to have to make another pencil case. So I did make one today, and of course I used the Cars fabric. And I lined it with the other, do you remember the other Cars fabric? I wasn't sure what to do with. So he hasn't had this yet, obviously, because it's nice and pristine still. So that was 2 pencil cases I made as well. Then my dad was over at the weekend. Now, my dad, a few years ago, I think, made a little wooden boat. And he wanted some sails on it. And I think it was a project he just wanted to finish now. So he gave it to me and said, can you make some sails for this? Well, I had no clue what I was doing. All I did was play around with bits of paper and triangles, and came up with this. Now, if there are any sailors watching this, I know it's probably not right and it should be joined up here, but there was this piece of string running to these bars here, and these bars come out. So all I did was make a hem on the bottom and then a hem on there for the string to run through. I think it finishes off quite nicely, actually. So yeah, he hasn't seen it yet, and I'm very, very excited to give it to him. I'm seeing him on Tuesday, so I'm going to pass it over. It's not very glamorous. It's just one of those fun things you get given to do, isn't it? And I just thought, what on earth am I going to do with this? But it looks the part. So I told you, it's done very random things this week. Now, next week, we've only got one more week before we go away, and I am going to make, I think, hopefully 2 more garments. One thing I have been doing is running in September. Mari from Mari Sews is kind of headlining this Project Dresser Girl. Everybody's announcing in September. I'm going to make a couple of dresses for this this month. It's Project Dresser Girl. I'll put the details on the in the description box below. I didn't take part in it last year. It's mainly the US. I think a couple of British sewers are doing it, but it's just making dresses for girls Girls in Need, and it's kind of a charity based, and I think in America. So because I'm going to America on holiday, what I thought I'd do is make a couple of dresses. I've made 2 already. I want to try and make 5 if I can. Just little simple basic girls dresses, and then take them with me and pass them over to somebody in America that I'm hopefully meeting up with. So that's I've been doing as well. So I have been busy, but I do want to try and make a couple of things before I go away. Now, I've had this pattern for a while, and I think I have made this top, but I've always admired this one on the front, where you've got 2 contrasting jersey fabrics, and I like that neckline, and I've never done it. And I had a quick look, and I have these 2 fabrics. They're both viscose jerseys, and I think that could work quite well. What I'm not sure about is to whether to make the pattern bit the neck and the bottom, or the pattern bit the main bit and have plain top and bottom. So I'm not sure. I'm going to do what I did before, kind of cut out little doll-sized equivalents and see how that goes. So I want to try and make that. I don't know. What's top of the agenda really is making that 8640 out of this beautiful fabric that I bought a couple of weeks ago. Sorry, I keep dropping everything on the floor. 8640, if you don't know, is this one, the Simplicity 8640. I really want to get this done as a nice light floppy dress for holiday. So, oh gosh, I'm putting a lot on myself. But my family are going away on Saturday with 2 grandsons. So I have no childcare next week. So I should have a bit more time to myself, and then I can get some sewing done. Now, I was going to show you this last week and I forgot all about it. This is my favourite sewing tool. And it's nothing to do with sewing. I think it's actually to do with cars or magnet. But it is this. It is an extendable magnet, and it even has a light. Ta-da! And it's the most brilliant thing, because when I am sat in my sewing chair and I drop needles on the floor, all I have to do is just pick them up. And believe me, it's strong. It's super strong. It's designed for sort of going into drains and things like that and being able to pick up keys. But it's really extendable. But it's so great if you're lazy like me and you drop all these pins on the floor and you just wander around with it and just pick them all up. So I meant to show you that last week, so I've shown it to you now. I think it is, I just got it from Amazon. It was Rolson, I don't know what it was, but yeah, useful. And if I ever do drop any keys down a drain, then hopefully this will help for me. Now, what has happened in life? Well, we had a new addition to the family last weekend, and it was an air fryer. I was talking on the Zoom call last week with a few of them in America, and they have had air fryers. Yes, I know I'm a bit behind the times. I've had an Actifry, which I basically just done chips with, but I have now got myself a Kasori air fryer, and I'm having so much fun with it. I've made some muffins. I've done some chips, obviously fries. Sorry, chips or fries, wherever you're living. And I've done some turkey breast steaks. I'm sold on it, and I can't stop using it now. I think it's going to be invaluable when our energy prices go through the roof. So that was a new addition to the family. This weekend, I have a new car coming potentially in September, and I have always driven a manual car, always, all my life. My husband has an automatic, but I've always shied away from it because I'm a bit nervous of it. And I know a lot of you will find this hilarious, but I am testing out an automatic on Saturday, and I am really, really nervous about it. So much so I can't get excited about my new car because it's going to be automatic. But I got to go over that. And everybody says you'll never look back. It's simple. You just put it in drive and you go. And I'm sure it is, but it's always, we don't like change, do we? So think of me at 10 o'clock on Saturday test driving this automatic car. It's not my actual car. My car should be coming around September, but I'm very nervous of it. Now, just to finish off, we had a fantastic Zoom call. I'm afraid Andra from Andra Makes couldn't join us, and Jen, lovely Jen, our leader, wasn't there either because she's actually on vacation at the moment. But we did have Michelle from Michelle Sews Again, and it's the first time I've ever talked to her face to face, and it was fantastic. It was brilliant to have her there. And there was Adam from Adam Sews and Trish from Pinky's Farm, and I don't think we talk about sewing very much. I think we just discuss everything else in life. I really treasure those moments, and I love chatting with you guys as well in the comments. It's just brilliant. You always have great ideas. So I think that's it from me this week. I hope to get lots of sewing done. I hope you get lots of sewing done. I can't remember what the question is for this week, so really sorry. But I love chatting with you anyway. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again soon.